You are witnessing the dawn of a new age of Karis Penco and our brand new two-tone, fully resin. All right, enough of that. I couldn't even keep it going there. Obviously, that is a lame April Fool's joke. That's a wonderful Bic that was given to us as a joke by a local company. So hopefully you caught on to that. It is a really good pen. I love Bic pens. They're one of my favorites. When I'm out doing stuff, they write all the time without fail. You're always gonna, know what you get. You can pretty much find one anywhere. So, hey everybody, welcome to the April live stream. I apologize that we switched stuff around kind of last minute. I'm going to be out of town next Friday. I'll be in Colorado with some friends of mine that I served with in the Army. So hanging out with people, and might hit up some distilleries and some other stuff up there. So that's why we kind of had to randomly move stuff around. That being said, I assume you can hear me because you're commenting in the live stream, and we will. I'll make sure that I kind of glance over at that from time to time if anybody has any questions or anything like that. I got a few things to show off today. I don't know how long we're gonna go for. It's just gonna be one of those things where we kind of have to fill it out, making sure I have everything set up. I was involved in a whole bunch of stuff before we get started, but there's quite a few of you on here. So first, right off the bat, we had some people that were involved in the last live stream that couldn't chat. So if you're watching this and you can't chat, that's because you need to be logged in to Google. So that's something to be aware of. If you want to participate in the chat, please sign up for a YouTube or a Gmail account, a Google account, and use that to to watch us while you're logged in. That will allow you to participate in the live chat. Otherwise, you won't be able to chat. You'll just be able to comment on the stream after it's been uploaded. We have not finalized, as people are, well, I'm going to give it about, what time is it? I'll start in on on my normal stuff in about 4 or 5 minutes. Take a few questions here early on while people kind of jump in. Hello, Jay Morelby. I wish I remembered everybody's handles with their names, because so many of you I talk with frequently. So we have not finalized our pen show calendars, so to speak. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure what pen shows we will be at yet. I plan to sit down with Bill and G this month and come up with a plan. I plan to sit down with G and Bill and kind of figure out what pen shows we're going to go to this year, and trace out who's going to go to what, and then we'll post a pen show calendar, so to speak. We'll send one out in one of the emails. So as of right now, we're not planning. We've never gone to that pen show, and we're not planning to go. I don't know of any that are officially on the schedule. I know we're talking about going to anywhere between 2 and 5 this year. That's all I can say for sure right now. Sydney or Melbourne pen shows? Wow. I don't think so. We have been invited to to come to a few of the UK pen shows by Vince, who is the guy that owns Turner's Workshop. So so that could be a possibility, though I don't think it's going to happen this year. Hello, Maria. Jerry, I hadn't heard of that one. So I'm trying to think. I was going to go to Stranahan's and Mythology. Those are two that I'm aware of that I wanted to hit up. Maybe up to Fort Collins to go to Old Elk. But it's kind of all up in the air based off of hanging out with my friends, because most of my friends are down in Colorado Springs, and then they have weekend events up in Denver, and so I'll probably be on my own, kind of hanging out doing this stuff in Denver on the weekend. Number 9 nibs. First off, I don't know where we would source number 9 nibs from. Bach makes number 8 nibs, and we have purchased them in the past. However, we don't have any plans to use larger nibs at this time, only because it's just they're the price of those larger nibs is large, and like the nib itself. So the upgrade in terms of number 8 nibs through Bach is significant. The titanium number 8s are like $120, and the 18 karat gold number 8 nibs are like $200 just by themselves. So we don't currently have plans to design a pen around a larger size nib. Now that could change. I'm not saying that it's not in the cards. You know, I like bigger pens. I like bigger nibs. It's something that we could potentially come up with. But this year, I know that we're not looking at prototyping any larger pens in terms of the nibs that they would have. We do have some pens on the list that we are going to prototype this year, but it's not going to be not at least in the early months. It's not going to be a fountain pen. Okay, so let's jump into what I have scheduled today, and then so just so you know, I'm going to roll out the next Vertex special release, show that off to you guys, and then, excuse me one second. Oh my gosh. Then I'm going to pause, rearrange some stuff, give you guys a look at the Titanium EDK, and then potentially take some actual like Q&A, give you guys a chance to think about some stuff, and we'll do some Q&A towards the end. I'm not saying that we're never going to do larger size nibs. That's definitely don't think that I'm saying never. I've learned my lesson. I'm not going to say we're never doing never, because we said that about titanium, and we're 2 pens in. We've done 2 pens now in titanium, and we have plans to expand to pretty much the majority of our aluminum pens, adding titanium to those. So I'm not going to say we're not going to do it. I just am pretty sure it's not in the cards for 2022. It would be a lot easier for us to do something like that if Bach made steel nibs, or we could source steel nibs in a number 8 size that would thread into like that would use the box style threads that weren't significantly more expensive. That's all I'm going to say. We've sourced it. We've looked at it. I've priced it out with multiple different vendors, and it's just not economically feasible at this point in time. But that's not never. That's just not right now. Okay, so the next Vertex special release is not actually a a new release. It's a re-release. So so what you're seeing here before you is the next one. This is a Chrysopia or Chrysopia. depending on how you pronounce it. Doing some research, I believe it's technically pronounced Chrysopia. You may have one of these. You may not have one of these. You may have joined us after we rolled this out. If you've been around long enough, or you've looked at reviews of Vertexes on blogs and stuff like that, this is one of the ones that got reviewed a lot. We sent this out when we released this in 2009. This was the launch of the Vertex. This is the first. This was the first special release that we did, first or second special release. We did this one in the Galacierto. And so, so this basically, the original versions of this have some of the older technology in them. They use a different O-ring set, and so this is basically the updated version. The original run was a total of 50 pins, and about 10 of those were sent out to reviewers. So there was only about 40 that made their way into the hands of people like you. So we decided, when Vince told me I could get my hands on more of the material is OMOS, an OMOS acrylate. It's real nice. Obviously, you can see how it is. It's this, brown with a lot of gold through it. I went ahead and bought a second batch the last time we ordered from Vince, and he sent this out. So there's going to be about probably another 50 to 75 of these will go up on the website. And let's see if I can do this without screwing stuff up. And of course, I went the wrong way. So you kind of notice here. I'm going to give you guys, I'm going to make you guys sick, motion sickness here. So this year we're doing, this year we're doing like themes. We're doing like the constellation theme stuff, a bunch of mythology themed items, undersea type stuff. And so this one is kind of unintentional that we are re-releasing this, but we're going to do some obviously some alchemy themed pens. We did that with the Aqua Regia. We'd already done the Chrysopia. This is the updated lid artwork that Ishmael did for Chrysopia, kind of themed along the same lines that we did for Aqua Regia. We'll probably do one or two more throughout the year that will be in the alchemy type of theme like this. Don't bother looking up the symbols in the middle. They're our own like amalgam of multiple symbols, so they don't really mean anything. They're references to a few different things. If you can kind of take them apart, you'll find one or two different symbols in there. So that's basically the next one that we're going to release here shortly. We have a bunch on deck. And if I had the one after that, I would actually be showing you two today instead of just showing off one. Then we're also going to do a special Mother's Day release, a very small Mother's Day release next month of a material that is really nice that we've been holding on to for a while. Same price range as all of our Vertexes, in that 165 to 170 area region ish. Again, this is, it's kind of a brainstorming between the name already existed. We were using the exact same material, so I asked Ishmael to go ahead and do a new lid, because the original lids were basically, I just threw them together and they looked like crap. So comparatively, these are much nicer if you dig the way we do our boxes and stuff like that. The material is awesome. You're gonna have 3 grip options on this one: the Coke bottle, brown, and smoke. And with that, we are in the process of adding another grip option. It won't be with this release. It'll probably end up going up on the website by itself. We've sourced a lighter green. It's the same Pantone color as the dark green. It just has the opacity has been reduced a whole bunch, so it's see-through. I don't have, actually, you know what? I do have one here with me. Just 1 second. That's going to be the new color that we add. It's probably just going to go up on the website now that we have them in and we're actually machining them. So it's a more see-through. It's still a nice dark green. Like I said, technically it's the exact same Pantone color as the other really dark green that we have. You can just see through it a little bit more. It's more along the lines of what we're looking at there. If you're unaware, I'll get this out of the way right off the gate. If you're unaware, we actually have the grips injection molded into a specific shape, basically. That's close to this size, and then we bring that, and then they're injection molded at a local plastics company. Then they give them to us, and they're molded out of Macrolon polycarbonate. And then we get them from them, and then we machine the inside threads and the external threads and the final pass on the grip section itself on the outside to get the shape that we want. So there'll be, going forward, a disclaimer on the grip section page that basically removes the fully machined portion off of that. They are still machined in-house in order to get them to the size that we need them to, and do the threading and all that stuff. We still machine them, and then we hand polish and hand sand them. But just full transparency again, to save time on machines and to save money, it's much more cost effective for us to machine them out of, or to mold them, have them molded for us out of Macrolon. There's a lot of upfront cost in injection molding, especially when you then have to go and do machining on top of it. But in the long run, it allows us to make tons and tons of parts out of, a material that's a lot more robust than acrylic and will last a lot longer. I don't know. So I'll catch up a little bit in the chat here in a couple of minutes. So I just wanted to let you guys know that this is the next one. Again, it's going to be coming out early this month. I'm just waiting on photos and the lids to be finished, and then we'll go ahead and rock and roll with that. Let me get caught up on some of the questions. Medium nibs are on order. We just have to wait for Bach to ship them, and I don't know what the ETA is for those. I don't think that I don't know what the chemical makeup of Twisbees are. I read all those before I worked here. I own multiple Twisbees. I know that they make multiple different pins out of different types of plastics, and but I'm not positive what they're made out of. So I can't speculate to that. From what I understand, when I read the document that was put out by by a material scientist who also owned some TWSBIs, was due to the way that the shape of them, largely with the facets on those early runs, they were cracking. A polycarbonate Macrolon's the same material as the Lamy 2000. It's super robust material. Like when we hand sand these, we've had some of them fly. We're running the sander at like 1900 RPM. They go flying across the shop. There's not even a nick on them. There's some scratches that we can sand back off. We've never had any actual cracks in them. Sometimes during the molding process, there can be voids in the material if your injection is not stable, and so you can have voids in the mold that can cause stress in certain shapes and thicknesses of material. But other than that, we haven't really run across any. None of the ones that we've had have cracked. None of them have been damaged during our stress test. They were equally as robust or more so than the machined acrylic ones that we had. So let's see. Yes, we are considering titanium clips for the titanium pens. That's going to be something we do in the future. We're trying to source that material and figure out what clips we'll use. So you'll have to wait on that one. I don't know if you'll get a super special discount. Normally we do a giveaway or something like that. Yes, same thing as CDs and eyeglasses, stuff like that. Yeah, I don't know like what they're. I'll be super upfront with you. I own maybe 10 or 15 TWSBIs. I've never had one of them crack. So I've never had any problems with them. Like anything, we have quality control issues with our pens that make it out into people's hands that were not inspected before they left. And so we have to provide, replacements for those. Any company that manufactures on a large enough scale is going to have some stuff fall through the cracks. So, I'm not going to say we're not perfect. They're not perfect. They have a really good customer service program. I know that for a fact. I've heard great things about their turnaround and everything like that. So, let's see. Yes, your ink does have a titanium clip. Some of the inks have had titanium clips already, but we're talking about doing titanium clips for our retractable pens and for potentially the Decograph. All right, let me move some stuff around real quick. You guys think about if you have any questions, since I've been doing a Q&A, but I want to move some stuff around, and so I'm going to switch this over. My raw approach. I mean, it's just kind of fly by the seat of my pants, especially today. 1 second, and I'll be right back. Oh, I guess it was longer than a second. April Fools. It took a couple seconds longer than I thought. Let me line this up and we'll get into it here. All right. So the wait is over. If you're one of the people that have been anxiously, impatiently waiting for... I wish I had a remote control that I could do this. If you've been anxiously, impatiently, or what have you, for the EDK to be released in titanium. We're here. It's here. It's literally, we're waiting on clickers from Schmidt to get into the building. Everything on our end of things has been completed. So the machining's done, the tumbling's done, the internal polishing has been completed, all that jazz. So what you're seeing here is the full gamut of our EDK, our standard EDK pins. Top to bottom to top, bottom up. You got the tumbled aluminum, matte black aluminum, tumbled brass, tumbled copper, and then the top one is that tumbled titanium EDK. There's gonna be a I completely lost my train of thought. Apologies. There's going to be a video coming out. Well, it would have been out already, basically released, like going over this. But unfortunately, when I recorded it, something went wrong, and the last 5 minutes of the 10-minute video were gone. So when I watched it back, so I don't know if my camera, I'm not running on a battery, it's plugged in. I don't know what happened. I think it might have been our internet went down, and since I was streaming and recording at the same time, it just got all funky. So basically, I'm going to go over some of what that video has in this. If you're curious about different stuff, I'll quickly roll through the weights of these. You're looking at about an ounce, 28 grams, 28.8 grams for the aluminum versions. So these two. Going to be our lightest metal pins, obviously, because they're the smallest and out of aluminum. So, and then brass is going to be 59 ounces or 59 grams, 2 ounces, just over 2 ounces. Copper 63 grams, 2.2 ounces. And then you've got the titanium, which is coming in with the clicker with the basically fully outfitted with a refill on a metal Schmidt refill. Rolls in at about 38 grams, almost 38 grams even, 1.34 ounces. So it's not much heavier than I can't talk today, than the aluminum ones. But I will say, having written with mine now for, I've been using mine for about 2.5, 3 weeks. It's, again, noticeably different. Much nicer in terms of just the weight for me. My daily pen that's not a fountain pen now is my titanium bolt, and I'll probably be using the titanium EDK also. I keep that one in my bag, and it's a really good weight. My biggest concern, my biggest grief with it is that even the gel refills for ballpoints are just not very good. And since I'm really picky about them, that's kind of one of the things that throws me off with the EDK versus the Bolt. So there you have those. These are going to be priced. So the aluminums are 77, the brass is 89, copper is 110. The titanium is going to be 110 as well. So it's coming in the same price as the copper. Basically the same thing that we did with the Bolt. So there you kind of have that. Let me get to some of the questions real quick. We will, once we have the clips in as well, we'll do, I don't know that we'll do flamed. We're going to do a lot of stuff anodized just because it's easier for us to control and get quality parts with the anodized titanium versus the flame titanium. The flame titanium is really it likes to pick up any particulate that's in the air and just and attach it to the titanium, and then it basically discolors it if it's machine oil or stuff like that. We don't have a clean room here like that we can do that in. So I don't know that it's necessarily in the cards for us to do flame titanium anymore. We'll definitely be doing anodized titanium like we showed off in the last live. But what we will do when we have titanium clips, we will have the clips as well. Just got black ink V2. Unlike my other 3 inks, the cap on this one rattles. Are you sure it's the cap and not the converter? I've had converters rattle around inside the body of the metal pen. I would find it, unless if it's not, if it would be the clip. So I don't know. That one's a crazy one. We're not getting it back. Yeah, I don't know what that could be. Consider a build a Vertex option. I'm going to move this 1 second here so I can read on this side. So we kind of have a build a Vertex thing going on with members of the pen club right now. So people that are in the pen club, some of the leftover items, they're actually able to purchase caps and bodies and grips by themselves and kind of mix and match those together. So pen club members kind of already have that. It's possible that we'll end up offering that on the website at some point in time, not necessarily in the near future, but it is definitely something we thought about. I don't know that we'll do a full Macrolon one in terms of like the same color, like the one that, like the Lamy 2000 Macrolon one. We are looking at getting some matching ones to our grips, potentially molded, but I'm not sure where we're at with that. We haven't really nailed any of that stuff down. The grips are the main thing that we wanted to accomplish. So, and then we are going to be doing metal Vertexes at some point this year. We just have to get them back on the machines. It's like a small bell. No, the V2 has a stay fast cap on it. The V2 on the ink is the stay fast cap. I mean, I don't know. People talk about balance on pens, and at 5.5 inches, so here's what I'm going to say. At 5.5 inches in my hand, no pen, even the copper one, is not unbalanced. It just doesn't really, like, this isn't unbalanced. There's unless I'm like gripping it all the way up here, this pen, even if it had a titanium knob, is not going to be unbalanced. But a normal grip, it fits here to the point where I've always wondered about people's opinions on how pens are balanced. I don't post my pens, my fountain pens, specifically because posting pens unbalances them because it makes them inordinately long. But basically anything under 5.5 inches and smaller, the balance on it to me is a non-issue, because this would have to basically be made out of like tungsten for this to be unbalanced where it's sitting in my hand. Like, I don't know, like that's me personally. I know a lot of people it bothers them, but I'm just, Question on prize giveaway winners Black Friday live streams. Does Karis ever announce who the winners are? Do people win do people win the prizes? Yes, people win the prizes. So we don't really. I mean, it's not like we say who the winners are. Mostly because so often when you were using people's names and stuff like that, and I'm getting caught up on our last live streams giveaways. So, but we've given away all of the giveaways that we've ever done. Short of people not responding back to us to provide us with mailing addresses when we've needed mailing addresses, and then we've just chosen other. Then we've just chosen other winners, to be quite honest with you. So we do actually like pick winners and contact them and send them out. So I don't even remember what the Black Friday giveaway was, but I'm pretty sure we sent all those out already. We were caught up on all the giveaways by the end of the year, even the ones that I had to go through a second and third time to basically, because people weren't responding to my emails to get their mailing addresses. There was some that I think I randomly selected winners for like 3 times. Let's see. Ugly Vertex for the win. Any chance for a fluted loader? I don't know if we're doing fluted lowers. I know that Josh is going to work on some dragon skin ones. Probably. Oh, that's probably going to be 2 months out though, because those have to be machined on a different machine. So probably those. But we were going to have some dragon skin ones. Join the club, drink the Kool-Aid. Huh. I can't comment on tactile turn spins. I've written with a few of them. I'm not sure why that would feel top heavy. I don't feel it in ours. I'm just letting you know, Andrew. Like it doesn't feel back heavy or top heavy or anything like that to me personally. Maybe it's the diameter of his pens. Maybe the diameter, because it's a little bit skinnier. It also feels a little bit misweighted. I'm not sure. I don't notice any of our pens except when we had the bolt. When we had the 2 different styles of the bolts, the standard bolt and the Bolt G2, and the Bolt G2 is 6 inches long. The copper version of that longer bolt was pretty back heavy in my hand. The copper bundle, so yes, that one went out. We had a winner. That person responded to me immediately, and that person got their all of our pens made out of copper. So yes, that one's gone. Sorry. Sean, so the orange Cerakote stuff, we will have more of that available on certain pens. I don't know. So we're machining a new batch of inks right now. That is, and I will send some of those out for Cerakote, since we haven't done very many Cerakote inks. Probably the orange will be one of the ones we add to that list, because it's as sexy as everybody says it is. Jawbreaker pens. They are at the Cerakote company right now. I have 4 or 5 different styles of pens there. I did like between 15 and 25 of like the Bolt. We didn't do any EDKs. That's for a completely different reason. We didn't do any EDKs. We weren't able to. I think there's some retracts, decagraphs, K series, and some inks. So those are all going to be. There's about 100 pens total. Those 5 pens, and they're going to be done in the Jawbreaker color. So that white with like the blue and the red and the orange spark like speckles and stuff like that. All right. What other questions do you have? We've gone for about 40 minutes. I don't want to take up too much of your time. But, you know, I don't have a lot else to go over. If you have questions about specific releases, or you potentially want to have something come back, like see if we're going to be having stuff come back. So the titanium clips are going to take a while. So we're going to have, for sure, it's going to be an upgrade. We're going to have our standard clip stamped out of titanium for sure. But to do that, we're actually going to have to do a lot of that in-house ourselves. So we'll have them blank stamped out, and then we will hand stamp them in-house. This is due to the fact that the company that stamps these aluminum and our stainless steel clips wants to charge us, I want to say like $7 per clip or something like that, which is just, it's not feasible. That's on top of the price of the pen. That's just the stamping. It would be $7 like to stamp them, because their machine is not, they're in charge of maintaining the machine, of providing maintenance on our stamp. And with it being titanium, they're worried that it will break the stamp. So we're going to do those in house. So it's going to be a while for us to get those done. Let's see. I don't know if we're going to do opaque matte grips. I think so. I think we're going to do opaque matte grips so we can do an all black pen, but I'm not positive. I would have to look at our purchase order from them. This espresso, yes. So we're going to do some more of the shipwreck stuff. We're going to do some more shipwreck stuff, and inks will definitely be on that list. So those will be coming back. Same stuff I had last time. This is Buffalo Trace. It's low ABV, but has for a bourbon, but has a lot of flavor. So I can just kind of sip it here while we're going on. We have really wanted to offer engraving for quite some time, and unfortunately, the hard part is we only have one laser, and it's almost always in use. So putting something on there, it is. We actually even have it. I have it drawn up, and it's actually even just waiting on the website to get turned on. So I don't know. Hopefully we get around to that at some point. We might actually even buy a less expensive laser just to do the pens on, so that we can offer that option. We get a lot of people that ask that. So right now I don't know that we're going to offer it, but we definitely have a lot of people ask, and it's ready to go. It's just, if you ordered one, it would be so hard to squeeze in the engraving in between all the rest of the stuff that we're lasering, because we don't just laser. The laser isn't just for our pen products. We laser a ton of our contract work. A lot of the items that we are contracted to make require laser marking. Either most of them are not even on anodized. They're literally like deep engraving serial numbers into 70, 75 type aluminum. So takes a while to get that done for each piece that we have to do it on. Jerry, I'm going to get to the fourth and 4th through 6th place winners this week before I go on my vacation. You can just, if you want to email me, Jerry, your address, I'll get yours, because I think the other 2 people actually already emailed me theirs, but if you wouldn't mind email me your address, I'll get that out this week. We made micarta pens a long time ago, and they were really problematic. In fact, I have 250 bodies. We made bodies only of the bar stock K series pens. And I have 200 bodies left sitting in a bin in the back of the shop because they cracked along the lip, so they cracked right along this area here, right where the threads are. And we can't fix them. So they're just sitting back there. They're basically, you could use them if you're really, really careful. But it's not something that we would potentially attempt to do again. It was really difficult, took a long time to do. And then 75% of the pens were cracked and we had to throw them away, or not throw them away. They're literally just sitting there and they're needing to be recycled. So to my knowledge, Jonathan, and I'm not 100% certain, to my knowledge, those are not traditionally machined, and that material is made to spec for Visconti. If we could get our hands on something similar to that, because that's a composite resin that they're basically taking lava rocks and basically pulverizing them, and then and then suspending them, I think, in some sort of binder that can then either be molded or rudimentarily, I don't know if that's a word, that is then able to be machined. So I don't know that we would ever do anything with something like that. Just if we could source that for a decent price and actually machine it, we would probably do that. We were recently given some experimental resin that we're machining. It looks a lot like normal plastics, but it's a lot more robust. It's a lot more. It's an industrial plastic that looks like an acrylic, like a clear acrylic. So we're messing around with that. My favorite TWSBI, I don't know. It's kind of moves between. I like the back 700. What's the one? Not the Go, but the one that they had. The relatively inexpensive one. They're all inexpensive. I don't remember. I enjoy writing with all of them. The biggest thing is I don't tend to use other manufacturers' pens. That's not true. I have 4 pens that I use, and they are as follows. I use the Vertex fountain pen. Yeah, the Eco. I like the Eco. I'm a big fan of the TWSBI Eco. I think that's a pen that does what it's supposed to do. It's relatively inexpensive. It writes nice, and you can get a decent grind on it for $35, and it's a hell of a good pen to write with. So here's my 4 pens, my 4 fountain pens that I use. You may have heard me talk about these before. I've published them in written form before. I write with a Vertex because it is my favorite pen. It was largely made based off of a lot of feedback that I gave to Bill and to Dan when we sat down to design it. It's the most comfortable pen for me to write with. When I'm not writing with that, I have a Mont Blanc 146 that the hype about that pen is it's worth it. It prompted me to buy 3 or 4 more of them, and I gave one to my wife, and I have a couple extras. That pen, the weight of it, the way that it writes, everything about it, it's one of the most awesome pens that I've ever written with. I love it. An absolute dream to write with. The same thing goes for the Lamy 2000. My wife bought me the Lamy 2000, and it is an absolutely amazing pen. It's one of my favorite pens. And then the last pen that I have a Schaefer. It's a snorkel that I was given that is in my bag, and that one is I write with that one. It's from like the 50s, and it's a maroon one, and I write with that one. Those are the 4 pens that I write with, and other than that, like I own a lot more fountain pens, but those are the 4 that I consistently pick up and use. I do have a pink Bic with a purple cap on it. I do, in fact, have it. It's from the Republic Empanada, which is a local empanada restaurant that's just down the street here. And Marco, I think, is the name of the owner, and he gave us that because he buys our pens and stuff like that. But he thought it was funny. He's like, "Hey, I got pens made with our name on it, with our logo on it, and I wanted to give you a pen since you've given me so many." So, let's see. I'm trying to think if we've had anybody Arushi, a Vertex. I don't think so. Jonathan Brooks did Arushi on a Fountain K and on an ink. And I still have the ink. The Fountain K, I don't have any longer. Somebody else, I think, did a decograph. I saw someone do Arushi on a decograph. I don't think I've seen anybody do a Vertex. Maybe I have. I don't remember. I would like to see it. I think it would look pretty cool. It would be interesting to see if, I mean, I know it's really durable, but with the cap and all that stuff, and I wouldn't want it to chip or wear over time, but I'm sure you Arushi artists could figure that out. Excuse me. I apologize. I need a drink of water. All right, so we're kind of coming to that hour point. I don't really have a lot else to talk about. There's a couple things that I do want to bring up. So we may do an on-the-fly either live stream or something. Ishmael is coming to town this month, and I wanted to spend some time sitting down and interviewing him and talking to him because I've never met him in person. We've corresponded quite a bit on Facebook Messenger and email and stuff like that. And I have a lot of questions for him personally and then professionally and stuff like that. And I feel like that might be something other people might be interested in. So it's possible we do that as a live stream if he doesn't feel too uncomfortable with that. It's also possible that I might just convince him to sit down and we record something and do like a podcast type of thing where we would release the audio and you guys could listen to it. So that might be something that happens this month, just so you know. Otherwise, the next live stream is going to be in May. So got this one out of the way. But if you would like to hear more about the story of Ishmael and the wonderful art that he does and his background and how he started collecting fountain pens and what some of his other interests are, you can pester us in the comments and emails, and you can, if you're in the pen club, you can post in the pen club every single day until he comes out here with, I want Ishmael to be on a Karis live stream, and we can just bully him into doing it. Otherwise, I don't have anything else. So here's what I'll do. Let's see here. I'm trying to think. I know what I'll do. This works better. I'm going to just quickly, you're going to have to watch me type this up since I didn't have much time I didn't know what I was going to do with this. And now I feel kind of like a putz doing it while everybody's watching. I'm going to make a Google document, a Google form. And you can fill that out. And I'm going to give away all the EDKs and one of the Chrysopias. Sorry, I'm typing. I apologize. And apparently I can't spell. I'm going to keep it real simple. Hopefully you can understand this form. All right, so here's the link. Go ahead and fill it out. I'm going to turn it off before I leave or shortly after I leave so I know, oh, you know what? Let's do this. All right, so if you already like filled it out, I added another question. So go back in and edit it. Por favor. That way I added a place for you to put in your YouTube chat handle. That way I can know to assign what is option 1. There shouldn't be an option 1. So oh, you must have been answering it while I was typing that question. So you selected option 1. Go back in and edit that. So the link should be right in my response. I typed in, I basically copy and pasted the link, Jamie. I believe it, Jamie. There was an option for beggars can't be choosers. That would be funny. I gave you guys the options, so I'll try to be fair. But you know, if you want one of the pins, you're going to get whatever. You know, I'll draw them and try to match up. He's coming to Arizona, so just so you know, he is coming to Arizona already. He's planning to be here. It's just I have been unable to convince him, even though I keep bringing it up, that we should do like, hey, let's do like a Q&A where you sit down, I sit down. He's a Scotch drinker. I'm a bourbon drinker, although I do enjoy Scotch now and again. you know, he can bring his favorite scotch. I'll crack open a really good bottle of bourbon. We'll sip some stuff and just talk back and forth, what have you. I don't know. I think it'll be a fun time. I think maybe he's camera shy. I don't know. So I'm super excited to meet him. I'm super excited to sit down with him, you know, break bread with him, show him the shop. You know, he's for a long time, he just kind of did all the art out of the, you know, goodness of his heart. And then we started basically, hey, you know, we'll give you, trade some stuff, give him some discounts, do some. So, you know, he's definitely, yeah, that's Dave. That's exactly what I'm saying. Like, I would love to know, you know, like, hey, what inspires you? Like, what, you know, what gets your creative mind flowing? Like, I'm a creative in a completely different way. Like, I write, I create with words. I wish that I could create with, you know, graphics and drawings and stuff like that. And, you know, he can do that in a way that is, I can tell him something. Like, literally, there have been some times where I have said, hey, this is the idea that I have. And I was like, I like the way that the old style of drive-in liquor store neon signs looked, but I want it to be with outer space font or whatever. Like, I could just tell him some random crap of like 2 or 3 different things, and he'd be like, oh, you mean like this? And he'd send me back something that he would say, oh, I just threw that together. And it would be amazing. So yeah, so that's what I'm talking about. Like, he has an eye for creating really, really amazing artwork. And so I just, you know, and does it like that. Like, he did 3 Vertex lids in a day, and it was just like, he just banged them out. So I think that would be funny, Eric. Like, literally, like, sometimes the process takes a long time, and sometimes we're really honed in. And the day that we did the Chrysopia, and we did, I think, Scotty that day, and we did the next one, like, he did them back to back to back, and they were like really good. First drafts just came right off. So yeah, you know, hello, Jason, welcome. We're about wrapping things up here, so there's a link up top. Since you made it in, you're here while I'm still alive. There's a link up there for a giveaway if you want to hop on and fill that out. Oh, wow, you guys are really like jumping on one thing. It's interesting. Yeah, okay, so before I sign off, stunt double for the live stream. I mean, I'm kind of almost at the point where it's like, hey, you know, I'll move stuff around in here. So I have another view that's like a webcam view. It's a really crappy webcam view. Here, let's see. Let me see if I can bring it up. 1 second, and you're gonna laugh at this. So, hey, there. So here's the webcam view. It's a big, like, top-down view. Is it even working? I don't even think it's working. I think it's just like stuck on like my face. Yeah, frozen. So anyway, so I have a webcam. Technically, it's supposed to work. Like, it's not supposed to be a still image. But every time I turn this program off, it gets screwed up. So, so I can't even use that, like, move it in the corner. I don't even know. So we'll figure it out. Thanks. Yeah, like, we do this once a month. It's just kind of fun. I usually show off a couple new things. Yeah, I mean, I have a bald spot. Are you making fun of me? Only show his hands. That would be funny. See, we could do something like that. We could, yeah. Yes, that is a Four Roses single barrel. It is, and I was gonna drink that tonight, but I didn't. So I've wanted that for a while too, Sean. I think knowing him, I think he could create something that we could adapt to like an ink and engrave it on the outside of an ink. That would be really cool. Definitely something I would want to potentially look into. It might take a little bit of work, but I think we could do it. Yeah, we should just you know what we should do? We should do where we talk in the background, but the images of the two of us are just on whatever bottle we're sipping from. So he brings his scotch and the camera is just on his scotch, and then I bring my bourbon and the camera's just on my bourbon, and then we can just talk and you guys can stare at the bottles of bourbon. I mean, you can make fun of me all you want. Yes, Amanda, please bother Ishmael in a nice manner so that he doesn't get completely scared off and never works with us again. But I would like him to be involved in this. All right, so in all seriousness, it's 5:06. I'd like to wrap up and go home. But I would also, say I don't want to leave if you guys have questions. So let's wrap up any questions. If you have any questions, please post them now. We'll go to, it's 5:06 by my watch. We'll go to 5:10, and then I'm going to shut down the live stream, and I'm going to shut down the comments on the Google form. Ask your questions now or forever hold your peace. You have 4 minutes. What else can I talk about in 4 minutes if you don't ask anything? I'm trying to think. Oh, so G is in the process of doing some really, really cool notebooks. They're going to be larger style format notebooks. They're from a company called Denick. Jonathan, we are going to be doing some. We'll release that list later on this month, so stay posted for that. Thank you. I'm glad you like the pen. It's pretty awesome. Thanks, guys, for telling me all that. For giving me high fives for this. When I collect all of your email addresses, the winners will receive, hey, you won, congratulations. Please provide me with your mailing address. And then I will send sorry guys, I know that you didn't win. Here's a consolation prize. And I'll probably give you guys like a $10 site credit or something like that. So that'll go out sometime this week. So I don't know if you're familiar with Denick, Denik. They're not super, the paper quality is not super, super nice, but they're relatively inexpensive. The big thing is we can get really cool artwork on the covers. And so G is working on some really, really awesome, notebooks. Like, she showed me the first one that she's doing, and we kind of brainstormed ideas together. And the first one is like right up my alley with like kind of like creepy art and old like historical like artists and stuff like that. So if you're somebody who likes to have just notebooks around, we're going to have some larger style format notebooks, and the first, like if we could get, they're going to be super cool. I'm just saying. I don't know if it's technically an A5. It's a little bit slimmer. It's like A5 height, but it's like journal size, like standard US journal size, not A5 journal size. I feel like A5 is more like wide. So Black Delrin Vertex, I think the Black Delrin Vertex should be out pretty quickly. I have like 100 bodies done. I just don't have any caps. So as soon as we get some Black Delrin in and they can crank off some caps, should have those. So it depends, Jason. Aluminum batches are between 2,000 and 5,000. Brass and copper batches are about 1,000 a piece. And then titanium, we've been doing about 200 to 300 per titanium pin. For the like the resin ones, we're looking at anywhere between 50 and 100, except for the ones that we make ourselves, and some of those are all the way down at like 15. If they're the ones we make ourselves. So it just depends on the pins. When we started out, we were making total batches of like 500 aluminum pins and 100 brass and 100 copper. But now we're up at like, when we do an aluminum batch, we don't normally do less than 2,500 pins. Normally we try to do about 1,000. But a lot of it is based off of how much material we can source and the price that we can get it at. It's becoming very difficult for us to source the size of the aluminum, and we have to get them specifically ground to size. They have to be very, very precise in the diameter of the rod for us to use in our Swiss lathes. So it's just a struggle right now to get quality stuff. So I'm actually looking at some local leather notebook manufacturer or notebook cover manufacturers. A guy that is here just around the corner from us, a kid, like literally, he's like 18 or 19, has his own shop where he does leather goods there. And I'm thinking about seeing if he would do something in, not in bulk, but maybe like 100 or so. So that's a possibility. I'm not sure if it's going to happen or not. Definitely something I'm going to figure out after I come back from vacation. I hope you get it, Jamie. I really do. Let me know if you don't. Yeah. So it's not small. We don't do, 100 or 200 pens. We're doing like, we really try to do large batches. It just makes sense with the machines that we have and our automation. And we would do larger batches of titanium. It's just right now sourcing titanium in that amount because we didn't know how well they would sell. And so we were like, we'll buy this much. And then when we got it here, we made it. We're like, we sold out of it already. So when we buy it again, we'll probably buy more. Okay. So it is now 5:12. If you have any follow-up questions, you can put them in the comments after this has been closed, or you can email them to me, obviously. I'm going to shut down the Google form right now. There's 27 people that have responded. So if you didn't respond, please fill that out, because I'm going to do that after we shut down here. But I'm going to say goodbye. I'm going to sign off and say thank you so much once again for being here. I really appreciate it. Your presence here makes it so that I enjoy doing these. If there's something that you think about afterwards, please send me an email or a message on the Facebook group or whatever. This is an opportunity for me as much as it is for you to answer questions, to give you guys feedback, to be more transparent. That's literally one of our core values here, is that we are extremely transparent in our process, and basically in everything that we do. So this live stream is definitely a way for me to communicate those types of things with you. If there's something that you would like to see us feature on a live stream, please let me know, because right now it's all more about me showing off future, like, hey, we're going to be doing this or we're going to be doing that. Like, as soon as I have some like teaser stuff of prototypes, I'm going to put that on a live stream, stuff like that. But if there's stuff that you want to see, I need to know, because right now I'm just coming up with them by myself. However, this next week, one of the standard emails will have a Google form where we will be asking for your feedback, specifically for video content, and even more specifically for live stream content. So it's going to be asking you, hey, what do you want to get out of our video content and our social media content? Because we've expanded some stuff, we've added TikTok, we're really trying to grow our new Instagram account since we lost our old one. Our old photographer, Tommy, is back. You may have noticed some of the photos are in his style, and he's out and about in places that you would normally see Tommy take photographs at. He is back and running our social media and our photography. So you'll see kind of more engagement along those lines, what you noticed from him. So we want to make sure that we're providing you with the content that you want to receive. But if you're not telling us that, I'm kind of flying by the seat of my pants. So I would really ask for you, especially that are interact here, to look out for that email. If you're not signed up for that email, please sign up for the newsletter or contact us on one of our social medias. Be like, hey, I want to fill out this, the Google form that talks about social media content and videos. Please look out for that. Please complete that, and so that I have your feedback. If you're part of the Pen Club, you're always one of the first sources of feedback that we consider. Your posts on the Pen Club Facebook group are what I do try to craft a lot of this type of stuff, or any of the emails or videos that we put out is based a lot on Pen Club member feedback. So thank you for that. But just look out for that, and please continue to provide me with that information. I really appreciate it. It helps me do my job better, and I think it helps you guys get kind of what you're looking for. Okay, so that's enough from me. Thank you for spending some time on your Friday afternoon and evening / Saturday, if you're, in Australia, because is it Saturday in Australia right now? Probably not. It's probably late Friday. Regardless, thank you for spending time with me. I'm not a math person, and I don't know the time zones enough to figure out if it's Saturday morning or Friday super late. I really appreciate it. Your interaction makes this definitely one of the best hours of my week. So I will talk to you again soon. If you have anything else, you can always put a comment down below or send me an email, and I will do the drawing for the live stream on Monday, as well as get caught up on the contest drawing and last month's live stream drawing. I'm sending those out on Monday. So, all right, guys, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Have a good one. Cheers. I will see you, hopefully, I will see you again in like 2.5 weeks, and we'll be sitting here, and Ishmael will be sitting across the table, and we'll be doing a live stream with Ishmael, and you can be pestering both of us. So that's the goal. If that doesn't materialize, I'll see you in May. Talk to you later. I love you guys. Bye.